Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 10, Chapter 32, Reconditioning Man, Part 1 of 2. To have this conference of the representatives of all the units of the Sathya Sai organizations at Prashanti Nilayam is a source of great pleasure to me. I am sure everyone here knows the purpose and significance of this organization that has spread all over the world. It is necessary that the obligations too are always kept in view. Discipline is essential for the success of every endeavor of man, whatever the field, whether it be economic, social, educational, or merely material and worldly. It is even more essential for success in spiritual effort. The discipline of concentration, for example, is indispensable for even common acts like walking, talking, writing, or reading. Spiritual progress and bliss depend on the disciplined efforts. It can come only through hard and difficult toil, not through pleasant, easy paths. Life becomes worth living only when one has disciplined habits, concentration of mind, renunciation of sensual pleasures, and faith in the Atma, the Self. Discipline and concentration are as the embankments which control and direct floodwaters of a river into harmless and fruitful channels. You are engaged in sadhana and the inquiry into the self, and in this great task, these two will be of great help. No one ignorant of the path can reach the goal. No one unaware of the goal can choose the path and tread it. You must have the proper conception of the path, as well as its destination, before you decide on the journey. Before seeking an office, consider your capacity. Again, people aspire only for the fruits of authority. They shirk the responsibility that the authority involves. Do not think that this is so only in India. It is the attitude of aspirants all over the world today. Power is sought, but the burden that comes with power is not welcomed. The chaos and misery of the world today are the creations of persons who have climbed to positions of authority but do not discharge the responsibilities of those positions. No one is entitled to such position who is unable or unwilling to shoulder the responsibility inherent in it, and who does not discharge it sincerely, whatever their status, however deep their scholarship, however rich they are, they do not deserve the position they crave for or hold. In the units of this organization, too, the same rule applies. No one has a place who does not possess the skill, the capacity, and the willingness to carry out the responsibility. Before you enter the organization or seek any office therein, consider well whether you have the yearning and the capacity. Else, if you join or complain against some person or some program, you are only revealing your own smallness or weakness. Make due inquiry, give full consideration before you join the organization. Having joined, cooperate with others vigorously and carry out all your duties conscientiously. Censors are obstacles in the path of the spirit. The organization has spread far and wide, but I must say that it has drifted away from the purpose for which it was started. It has not resulted in the least benefit, for in the spiritual path, the first step is selfless service. Through selfless service, man can realize the divinity. That is all this creation. Of course, all beings and all things are divine. But through intelligent analysis, you have to choose the beings and the things that will help you, and avoid the beings and things that will hinder you. This is the way of wisdom. Take the electric current, or fire, or a sharp knife. They are dangerous if you do not know how to use them. They are beneficial if you know how to handle them discreetly. They can be either friends or foes. So too the senses. If we allow them to master us, they become our deadly enemies. If we master them, they help us to realize our goal. Man has to master the senses which draw his attention to the outer world. Man cannot liberate himself from bondage to the wheel of duality, pleasure and pain, joy and grief, etc., so long as he is led by the senses. The senses are obstacles in the path of the spirit which leads you into the inner consciousness, not the outer world. Birds and beasts are not troubled by the thirst of the spirit, but man is. He is rewarded this great gift by God's grace. Man can liberate himself from the cycle of birth and death through detachment from the senses and attachment to the inquiry into his real nature. You may know of persons who are friends or foes today, and who may turn out to be foes or friends tomorrow. But of this be certain, karma, desire, is a perpetual foe. The more we yield to this foe, the more dominant it becomes, the more you are enthralled and enslaved. Each one is saturated today from head to toe with desires of one kind or another, for wealth, for social status, for fame, for luxurious life, etc. Sundry cravings assail man from all sides at all times. They go on growing in number and force incessantly. The embankments of discipline and duty are swept away by the flood of desire. Be sincere in thought, word, and deed. So, you should cultivate detachment, develop renunciation, and keep desire in check. The end of human life is not wealth or vanity, gold or worldly fame. Be moral, be virtuous. Be sincere in thought, deed, and word. Be honest to yourself. Money comes and goes, but morality comes and grows. So man has to give up the yearning for money and yearn for more and more morality. The Sathya Sai organization is working with persons belonging to all religions. They do so because all religions, Christians, Parsis, Hindu, Buddhist, Jain, Muslim, have as their basic doctrines love and non-violence. Develop these qualities, then you get the title to preach them to others and propagate them. This land Bharat has been declaring since ages the way of life. That is, having crossed yourself, help others to cross the sea of turmoil and travail, of grief and pain. Realize and then help others to realize. Be an example. That is the best way to teach. Bharat is celebrated as a holy land, For here the people renounced desire and earned fulfillment. The saints liberated themselves and lived in joy and peace. They also inspired the common man and sweetened his days with love and faith, unaffected by the ego and its greed. They skipped the years in joy and lived for over a century. But today, on account of the impact of egoistic desires, life is becoming shorter and more miserable. End of part 1 of 2. All India Conference, Prashanti Nilayam, November 20th, 1970.